I took off last week and went with my family to the Texas beach to spend a few days with them. And while I was out on the beach, I wrote notes, about 20 pages of notes of what I thought was most important in life. And one of the things I wrote in here is that I was really thinking about what makes me up, who I am. And I thought about being a young man and being ego-driven and wanting to be tough and good-looking and wanting to get in fights with bullies and, kind of those base type things you do when you're young, but that's normal. It's a hierarchy of needs. It's a journey we're all on. And I thought about how I still fall back into ego sometimes, but less and less. It's almost like a long-lost, forgotten friend, because it's a great source of energy, ego, but it also blinds you. And I remember decades ago, people would tell me about ego. I couldn't even grasp the concept, even in psychology class, because I was still so controlled by ego when I was 18, 19 years old. But now I understand what it is. I'm totally separate from my, quote, mind. I can pull back, look at myself, warts and all. I can analyze what makes humans tick, how we operate, the basic engineering, the basic genetics, what our true values are, what we're truly meant to do. And at the final equation, laying down your life for your neighbor means that you save yourself. Because when you have that attitude of laying down your life for your neighbor, when you do have courage, when you do care about others, when you're not greedy and filled with hate, when you're not just self-centered, you truly are conscious and can now use your brain, and you understand that in a society where we care about each other, and that means sometimes fighting against evil, that doesn't mean just laying back and being a wimp, that you have a better society, a dynamic system. Does it mean we're ever perfect? No, but we're reaching towards something better. And being there, at the beach, laying in the sand, watching my children play and build sandcastles, and, seeing God's beautiful creation, the firmament, just looking at how wonderful this world is, and how Madison Avenue has trained us to feel inadequate, to be unhappy, to not see how great things are, but to not also be able to see all the evil that's in the world at the same time. People are basically blind to the beauty and blind to the ugliness. They've been stunted and kind of shrunken down. They're looking at the world through a straw. They're seeing such a limited perspective. And I have a desire to see them have pleasure. I have a desire to see them be free. I have a desire to see them do well. I have a desire, kind of a builder's desire, which is what we're all meant to be, creators, to see their minds unlocked. And I have a desire to learn more and to challenge myself and to really know the truth. And it's painful to realize that a lot of them don't want to do that, and they want to be caught in snares, and they want to be killed, and they want to have fluoride put in their water, and they want to be injected with cancer, and they want to give their kids mercury shots, and they don't want to know the truth. And I wanted to ask Jordan this question, or make this statement and get his take on it. And I wrote here in a little book that I realized that the instinct to want to build something better for the tribe is a human instinct, and to realize that the human community is bigger than just yourself, and that I want to pass better things on to people, and that all the good things we have is because other good people before us passed them on to us. And there's always been this struggle of good and evil within our own species that's being directed and controlled from above, and you can debate what that intelligence is. And Jordan gets into that, but certainly for those that have studied, it's there, and the elite know it's there and communicate with it, with both sides of it, or whatever it is. God, but then they control it and put out a false facsimile for the public. But my only message is that I'm not just some do-gooder. I want to transmit knowledge. I want to tell people the mistakes I've made. I want to let them know. I want them to see pitfalls. And I want to write, I want to make films, and it's because I want to communicate with the future. And I can almost feel, tangibly, I do feel it, but is it a facsimile in my mind, or is it real? The bouncing back from the future, the information I've already put out, I can feel the good it's created, and I can feel it tangibly coming back at me from the future, and I know that I stand on the shoulders of those in the past, and I can feel myself with my ancestors and others looking back into the past and into the future. And if you really want to get down to what makes Alex Jones tick, at the end of the day, when Jordan was just talking, I was going to share this later in the week, It's that I want to make things better for those in the future, because I live on through them. I live on through their pleasure and their pain and their exaltation and the births and the deaths and the lives, that we're all part of a larger species, like a cell in a larger organism, and the New World Order knows that and tries to block us off from ever becoming truly human and communing with our own species in the universe. Jordan, I didn't mean to spend 5 minutes because I want to hear everything you have to say, but I wanted to say that to you because when you talked about wanting to know, wanting to warn others, having this drive, this instinct, and I absolutely am a kindred spirit with you on that point, is that I have this desire to warn people and to know and to learn more myself.
Well, Alex, I'm so happy that you said those things, because that's exactly what I was going to say. So, and I'm older and more tired than you are, so you said it so much better than I would have said it. That's exactly what I feel. Precisely what you said is exactly what I feel. When I was younger, I was filled with the zeal for knowledge and wisdom and understanding and questioning everything and talking to all the adults that were out there writing and speaking publicly. I loved knowledge, and I loved the idea of helping my fellow man. I loved watching young people, their eyes light up when you show them something they've never seen before. It's the instinct of a teacher, and the older I grew, the more I loved talking to audiences and helping them to understand. Because like the Apostle Paul says, do you not teach yourself when helping others? So I was learning, and I was trying to transmit all the things I was learning to other people. But when I took my work publicly back in 1988, I decided to go public, and instead of the little Mickey Mouse venues that I had been speaking at, the little mom-and-pop bookstores.
You emerged from the underground.
Yes. I had been speaking at little venues, small little venues around Los Angeles, as far back as 1961 and 62. I was giving lectures in libraries and little small groups, ladies' home groups, and all these little venues on secret societies, Bible codes, Knights Templars, Nazi fascism, all of the different secret societies that were operating and how they were connected behind the scenes in European bloodlines. All of that back in the 60s, early 60s. But it wasn't until I was introduced to the work of Myron Fagan, Anthony Hilda put out the records set on Illuminati. That was in late 66. Well, I got a copy of it almost right after they came out.
And all the pieces came together.
All of it came together. It all began to make sense of the things which I was already interested in.
Let me interrupt briefly and see if you're on the same page or can expand. And this is for people that are listeners of mine and think that I know more or Jordan knows more than you do. Let me explain something. When you get so close to a problem and you understand the different sectors of it, you can be called a master of, understanding the New World Order. As Jordan said, you realize how much you don't know. And so I would imagine you discovered thousands of things that Myron Fagan didn't know, but that was the last piece or the master key, the Rosetta Stone.
Exactly.
That the tumblers flipped, and then you went, because I know your research, to a whole new level past him. But we have to understand that it was that step that brought you to the next level, and then you bring others, and then you learn more from new people, and then we just exponentially learn.